Hey, long time no see. How's everyone doing? So I'm going to do a video on edit, just a quick video. I had a few requests. People are wondering how this thing's doing, what it's going to be doing, what am I thinking about it. So I got some positive and some negatives, but it's honestly really hard to tell. Like, everybody's not sure what the hell to do with this thing is how I'm feeling about this. But we are in some type of consolidation. It is slightly rising, but we are creating higher lows. If we had a breakout of it, we would hit my final target that I had for this whole breakout, which is $74. Except I actually had a target of $73 from the start. So it was pretty damn close. When it was down at $27, I said it's going to $73. So, we are getting close. But I'm going to show you some of the negative signs. So I would ignore the pre-market type of shit, post-market stuff, you know what I mean? It doesn't really show anything on the charts. It doesn't really mean too much personally. And it creates gaps, which usually get filled in the stock market. A gap is when a price closes at a certain price and opens at a higher price. It usually has to come back down and retest the price it opened or closed at, so to speak. But anyway, so the few negative signs that we have here are that we do have a MACD cross on the 4-hourly, which looks like it could potentially cross negative, which could cause a sell-off. Usually you'd want to see the opposite happening when you have a pattern like this on the verge of breaking out. Another sign I'm seeing here is that we are straight across on the price action above in the chart, and on the RSI we're showing we're lower on the right, and it's the same thing on the 3-hourly. Now on the 3-hourly, which isn't, it's not going to brutally annihilate us or anything, but we do have a 9 flash coming in potentially on the next candle that we see. We had this MACD negative cross, and we could come down to the 63.70 or I think it's pre-market, it's actually at 63.10, but I think 63.36 is my exact breakdown target, but I'd ignore a little bit of the pre-market like I said. On this RSI, it is looking like it's rolling over on this 3-hourly, but what's going to determine everything is whether or not we get a 9 flash or a 1, because you can get a 1 after an 8, which means that the RSI has been reset. But if we get a 9 and it's a red flash and not a green flash, that's obviously going to cause some sell-off, and this round and over RSI is probably going to continue. So, if you have a chart open on edit, I would add the TD9 flash or TD9 sequential onto your indicators and keep a close eye on this 3-hour and see whether we get a 9 flash or 1, because that's going to tell us what's going to happen next potentially. If it ends up being a green 9 flash, then that's a good sign, a great sign. If it ends up being a red, it could not be as great of a sign. Now, so I definitely have more negative than positive here. But the thing is when you're in such a powerful uptrend, it's usually not a smart thing to short such a powerful thing. But if you look at this daily, we also are at an 8, which means that the next one is going to be a 9 flash as well. And we haven't really got any type of correction since we've been in this upward movement. So, there's so many things to me that's pointing that this thing could correct, even though it's been so bullish, and it makes me think, why wouldn't it just come up to this $73 target at least? But being that it's at the end of this consolidation pattern, according to my charts, and we're getting potentially 9 flashes and corrections and bearish diversions, that we could actually end up breaking down out of it. I have this line that I had drawn in here on the RSI that I potentially thought we could come up and test, because in the past we've tested it quite a few times. So, but as of right now, potentially we are having some type of bearish divergence. If it was to break out higher, then this would eliminate that bearish divergence. But, we're kind of straight across over here on the RSI, on the RSI, and we're up way higher, obviously, on the chart. But it doesn't have to correct here. It can still come up and test this line up here. Corrections aren't a bad thing anyway. It helps reset these RSIs. If this RSI was to come down and retest my line or retest even that $55 breakdown target level, it's going to reset the RSI enough that it can have a bigger move. So if this was to reset, this is going to be a bullish thing anyway, as long as it holds above $44. And I don't think it's going to come down to $44, but we could create an inverse head and shoulders on this daily RSI. This is speculation right now because I can't tell you the future, but I'll be watching for a sign of this, some type of double bottom or some type of bounce off that pattern. If it does even come down, because the RSI can show it test the pattern while the price is at $55. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be at the breakout originally. That's just how the RSI works. So you always watch the RSI. And if it's showing that you're getting a retest of your RSI original breakout pattern, then holy shit, if we get a bounce there, long the shit out of this thing, you know what I mean? So, and then on the weekly, this is more speculation, but even if eventually we do come back down to that $44 level, we could get a nice bounce there, and this could reset this RSI that's way in the overbought territory, and then look at the whole overall trend. So this could actually be some type of inverse head and shoulders on the weekly, which is just going to take some correcting over the next few months. Like I said, we can still have a move up and be okay, but there's a few warning signs, so it is like a cautious thing. But, I'm still bullish long-term on this thing just because it's so under the radar. I've seen so many people commenting on this thing or about this thing. What the hell is Edista's medicine or edit, whatever. What is this thing? Why is it fucking pumping like that? Why is it doing that? What is going on? There hasn't even been much information about it in the stock market. So strictly it was a play based off of, chart patterns and breaking out of old all-time highs and stuff like that. Even people that don't read charts and just look at stocks and they say, oh, look at this old high was $44. It just broke above $44 that it's tried to break for many, many years. I'm going to long this thing, just because some people play charts that way rather than actually seeing a breakout. They just look at the old all-time highs or the old lows and they buy from there, which is still a smart move and it works out great. You don't even have to worry about all this, but I like my indicators and stuff. So anyway, getting off topic here. This is a big day for Edit, and I think that either by 9:30 or by 1:30, because I think those are the 2 4-hour candles for the day. I'm not too good at military time, but it says 13:30. I'm assuming that's 1:30, and so one candle is opened at 9:30. That'll be our first 4-hour candle. So either we're gonna know at 9:30 what it's gonna do, or we're gonna know it the 4 hours later. So if we do come up here, we could come up to the $74 level and then consolidate a little more, have further breakout, or we could come down to this 55 level. And I know it's up or down kind of thing, but it's hard to know when you're in such a powerful uptrend if people are going to continue to buy this thing or if we're going to have a correction. So like I said, that you have to look at the positives and negatives. Right now we have more negatives, but this thing could still roll up and, have another move up. So it's kind of like a tricky situation here. I've been trying to watch it, so I haven't made much video because I'm like watching every movement, but it's not really giving me an exact, I can't tell 100%. There's no golden crosses. There's no MACD crosses. There's no patterns in the RSI that's showing me that this thing's going to go up. It's kind of more negative signs personally, but it is more of a chance to break out of a pattern like this than break down. So I guess that's a positive sign. And we have been creating higher lows here, which is, showing that we're not, getting bearish in this trend potentially. We have been doing a little bit of lower highs potentially, but that's just because of this resistance line we have above at this, I forget what I said. Hard to look at it right now. $66, somewhere around there. So 66.80. You have to look back and listen. Hopefully you guys listened in the video because I can't remember what my breakout of that top of that pattern was at the moment. So, not that it matters. I'm just looking at the EMAs, seeing if we missed anything, looking through here, if there's any golden crosses or anything that was going to help push us up. I mean, there's no rollovers of any of these, but, corrections are good things to have in markets when it gets stopped at a resistance point. I mean, it has been butting its head against the resistance, and it's been butting it against the support about the same amount of time. So, I mean, this was kind of our breakout originally. If we drop back in the RSI, obviously you can see on the RSI we came down and retested it twice, and then we fucking broke out. That was basically your confirmations right there. It gave you 2 chances right there. Boom, boom. Breakout. So I guess you could draw this as like potentially something like this, which would be the opposite of what we're seeing in the charts. Whether that's, I don't know if that would be considered bullish or bearish. It's hard to say. I've seen it often, and we still can break up. But even if we roll over a little bit on this first 4-hour lead candle at 9:30, we come down to the 63.36 area, and then we roll back up and create a small W or something, we could blast out of here, or we could just roll over. So, like I said, I mean, for me, I'm not even in this anymore because I'm all done with it. But I'll enter again when we come back down and retest potentially wherever that weekly RSI or daily RSI wants to show me that we're retesting the pattern. That would be me, my point where I jump in. But as far as people that are still in this, if you're holding long term, I don't know what your buy-in target was, but if you bought in at $55, you might want to set like a lower stop loss, maybe like $51 or something like that, and take the little bit of a hit if you wanted to, or take your profits now if you're in a shit ton of profits. I mean, maybe not now. I would watch and see what happens. Watch for these breakdowns, watch for these breakouts, because it could break out and you sold, and then you could have sold at $75, or so just kind of keep an eye on this thing. And like I said, put the TD sequential on there, and you can watch this 3-hour candle and see where it's going to turn up as, whether it's a 9 or a 1. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.